You need to do your warm-ups?
Oh yeah, no. Welcome to a sushi fueled version of Podspill. We just got done eating some delicious Chinese food. This place is called Panda Garden
Kitchen.
Panda Kitchen.
There's probably one in the USA.
There's also
called
probably
Panda
a Panda Garden. My name is John, and I'm joined by Soren.
Hello.
And I'm joined by Malcolm.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be talking about, well, several different things. You've heard the last podcast, which by the time this goes up, you will hopefully have heard the last podcast. We talked extensively about the new Star Wars trailer that was about to drop. It dropped on Monday during, I believe, halftime of Monday Night Football, around 9 p.m. Central Time. Yes, that was pretty glorious. Thoughts?
Great game.
Not the game. The game was, I didn't even remember.
Such a competitive, fun sport.
Just real lots of sports ball being played there.
That one team really took it to the other one.
Vikings and the Bears.
Yeah, the Bears. Good God. So thoughts on the trailer then?
Well, I think John did a good job at pretty much describing every single aspect of it in the last podcast for our predictions, so I thought that was pretty good. Rey did turn on her lightsaber.
Yes.
So that was pretty awesome.
Check.
So I saw a picture on Facebook of all the pictures of the or the posters for the movies, and in every single one they said the bad guy's in the back. And in the movie poster for episode 8, Luke is in the back. So
yeah, they also put him on both sides of the IMAX one.
So I was like, oh, that's kind of a funny thing to look at and kind of to catch, but I don't think they're going to do anything of the sort of making Luke like a...
Well, can we talk about what's definitely confirmed is that if you draw a picture of Darth Vader's mask sized perfectly to the poster, then the poster fits within his mask.
That is
tells
true.
You.
Mark Hamill tweeted that.
Yeah, if you draw it to scale based on the poster, it will in fact fit inside of that. Also, if you flip it upside down, you can draw Jar Jar Binks to scale across people's faces.
Because Jar Jar Binks is always going to be...
He is Snoke.
Yeah.
He is wearing prosthetics.
Lost his ears, and then they did a lot of plastic surgery to his face.
Is that the most ridiculous thing to happen in Star Wars?
No.
Yeah.
Apparently, people are really crazy about those porgs. Seen those?
Yeah,
those little snow creatures,
that's a big marketing
was
thing.
that the?
That's
is that
the
the place
penguin.
that? Oh, the
Chewie's new friend.
Yeah, the CGI character that replaced Han Solo.
Yeah, they're selling life-size ones. Life-size, I mean like 10 times their normal size, like my height.
I got it, okay. So like
Simpsons did it, but really Guardian of the Galaxies did it with good old Baby Groot. The eyes, I'm pretty sure if you look at both of the eyes, they're the exact same eyes. From Baby Groot to Little Puffball.
You're probably right.
They're pretty close.
So let's talk about, real quick, I mean, this is not going to be real quick, because I think last time we spent like 45 minutes on Star Wars, but that's okay. This is giving us a lot of content, so I'm fine with that. Alright, so I'm taking a look at this poster right now, and you're right, so Luke is in the background, and his face is half red, and it's half blue / lighter color. I want to say that the director of this one, is it Gareth Edwards?
Rian Johnson. Right?
Is it Rian Johnson?
Right. I don't know how you say it.
Well,
it's
time
like
to...
R-I-A.
No, you're right, Ryan. Yeah. I think he said that there's...
Gareth Edwards did Rogue One.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes. I think he said that the trailer, there's a ton of misdirection in it. And so I think that's kind of like how they're like marketing this one, because like they just want to like
confuse the fuck out of everyone, so no one knows what's happening.
Yeah, because I think they know, like, obviously their audience, and so they know that like we're always making connections, and a lot of us have read different novels set in like legends or canon, and like we're always trying to make connections, like, oh, this could be this, blah blah blah. This probably means this. He said this, so this means that he's going to go and do, whatever. He's going to go to this place and train her and do these things, but I think they know us so well, and they know us that we're going to look for clues, and I think they're trying to intentionally do a misdirect. So what do you guys think? I mean, do you think that... so you think Luke is going to be the actual bad guy, or do you think he's...
No, Luke's never going to be the bad guy.
Okay.
The only time he's ever the bad guy is because people make him out to be the bad guy.
I think he's going to be a bad guy. I don't think he's the bad guy. I think that's obviously Snoke. But if you just follow the arc of every Star Wars, or what they're basing it off of, is Anakin was the good guy, became the bad guy, redeems at the end. So why wouldn't Luke do the same thing? And that's why when they Rey's not Luke's son, it's either Luke's going to be the focus of the next two movies, or one of those people's his kid.
I think the second one's always, for all the trilogies, have always been the more emotional one of the three, because it deals with the main character going through a lot more adversity than the other two. Because the first one is, oh shit, there's this world, I'm supposed to be a part of it, and there's always a triumph. Yeah. The second one is the hero falls, and the last one is the hero comes back. And that kind of happened in all the movies, because Anakin had his fun thing with the Tusken Raiders, and that was all sad to see, and there was a few other characters who were questioning their motives and questioning their power and their abilities, and so this is just him being like, well, I fucked up one kid, I don't want to fuck up another, I'm not doing this again. And I love how fans, I love the theories and shit like that, because someone posted from episode 6 when Yoda was like, when Luke said he's not afraid, and Yoda said you will be, and then now he's like, I'm actually afraid. So now he's feeling that fear, and then he'll probably overcome that fear at the end of the movie, and then come back and train and save everybody, and then become the new master, and Rey becomes the knight of the new, or the sword of the new order, or whatever.
Right.
That's my kind of take on this second movie. It's going to be super emotional. Everyone's going to... The misdirection thing I think I like the most is, which they kind of confirmed, is Rey going to kill Leia?
Right.
Which I thought was cool. Which, I'm hoping he doesn't, because that's...
You mean Kylo?
Sorry, yes, Kylo.
Okay,
yes,
I missed that whole
yeah. Sorry, Kylo is going to kill Leia. My bad. But I think that'd be interesting. But I just don't want to see that to happen, because that really is kind of hard to do that to both your parents, and I really don't see a way back for him after that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would complete, in a way, it would complete his training in terms of, the dark side, and whatever Snoke wants for him, which we really don't know. Also, is the audio okay? Because I'm looking at that.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. And it just looked very...
Yours is much lower than Soren and I's, I think.
Okay.
Mine's pretty low now, too.
That's okay. No, it's fine. It's
recording in stereo rather than mono.
Oh, okay. I got you now. So kind of back to what I was saying. I think that, I think, it's intentional misdirection that, Kylo's going to have to kill Leia. I don't, like you said, I don't think that that's going to end up happening.
But, she is going to die.
I think she is going to die. I mean...
They kind of have to.
They would have to,
which, unfortunately. But
yeah, it is unfortunate.
Because the saddest part, besides her dying, because that was pretty rough.
Yes.
Is not getting to see her transform into what she could have been in episode 4. Because in the books she becomes a Jedi, a crazy amazing Jedi,
right.
and at some point she becomes chief of state, and a bunch of other stuff that these amazing accomplishments, and we're not going to be able to see that.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping, and I'm probably gonna fucking bawl my eyes out when she ends up getting the X on the screen, because that's going to be seeing her actually go in a weird way. It is the last I
understand.
She's still alive until this movie's end, and
true,
because we don't know what she's done. We haven't seen her act in this yet, and so now that and did they confirm they're not going to do any Tarkin?
No, they pretty much have come out and said that they said they're definitely not doing that, but that she had already finished all her filming, and from everything he said, it seems like that her resolution had already been decided before this, so I think she was. I think she was gonna die either way.
Yeah.
I don't. It didn't sound like this changed too much of me
Yeah.
as far as the story goes.
Yeah.
Which means it's just another part of the EU that they threw away. That was really cool.
I mean, she's only in charge of the New Republic and a general and the
Right.
commander of everything, and yeah. So
but,
I guess.
But then they just elect someone new to take that spot. It's not as much, like in the grand scheme of that world. It's not as like interesting of her character that her time as.
I mean,
chief
how
of
are they
state-
going to do that in 3 movies when she's in her late 50s? I guess is my question.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just
I
saying.
suppose they could have taken it a
point.
different direction. Like, she could have been. I see what you're saying, this Soren. Like, I feel like they, like Luke is obviously like an old Jedi. Like, they could have changed like a lot and like took her in that direction. But I don't know. Like, I feel like maybe she feels like a deep sense of like duty to the, like the New Republic or whatever. And I think they felt like her character is best served as a politician and a person that helps people through, the state or whatever. Whereas Luke is just like, I'm just gonna go and learn
Crazy
this
brother
shit.
Hermit who doesn't
Yeah.
give a fuck about
I'm
it.
gonna go learn this Hermit Force shit. Yeah, good lord, I'm just so excited for episode 8. I just think that is gonna be so killer. Like, apparently they're gonna like do more with Phasma this time.
No, that'll be interesting.
Yes.
Do you
Maybe
think
that
Phasma's
comic
gonna
really
show up in like the Inferno stuff?
Oh, Battlefront 2.
Mm-hmm.
That would. I don't know. Okay, so I'm like in the middle. Well, not really. I'm like in the beginning. I'm still like reading her book, so I'm not exactly sure like what her origin story. It'd be cool if she like ends up being in Inferno.
Or just like showing up. I just feel like
Yeah.
since Inferno's
like
such
a-
a specific squad that everyone's focusing on, I think that like
I got you.
putting in someone who's high up in the New Order would make sense for that.
Some sort of at
Yeah.
least cameo or like reference. Oh, there's this girl that's blah blah blah. She's really talented with whatever the fuck,
Everything.
whatever her weapon is.
Silver armor.
Yes. But yeah, no, I'm super excited. I'm trying to think about what else the trailer detailed. There was like a shot of like Rey being tortured by Snoke. It looked like, and Snoke already looks different this time. Like, he has like less. It seemed to me he looks like he has like less facial scarring. Kind of. There was like a real quick like blip of like his face, and it didn't look as like jacked up, because I remember in
Like
episode
this
7
whole
it was like a
front,
huge
yeah.
just yeah. So
I
it's
could
like
fit
maybe
my pinky in there. And,
Ex-
like, it
so it looks
rest
like
well.
he's kind of like regenerating slightly, maybe.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I'd like to see what he ends up actually looking like, and yeah, I don't know. I'm super excited though for this film. Let's see. Anything else? There were a couple other trailers that have dropped recently. The one that I'm most excited about right now is the New Mutants trailer.
Maisie Williams.
Maisie Williams and
The dynamic duo.
yeah, I think they got to keep those two together, because I don't know. It feels like they feed off each other. Sophie Turner and
Well, like, I feel like in real life they do, but at least in Game of Thrones, for a long while, they didn't really see each other.
Yeah.
The only really thing they played off of was kind of hating each other, but having to love each other because they were sisters.
yes,
Until they stabbed Littlefinger in his face. Or whatever. I forgot how he died. Was it slit throat?
slit his throat. Yeah. Yeah. Point is, he's dead.
Yeah. And they're a united front. But it'll be interesting to see. But the dynamic of the movie, what Malcolm was saying, it looked like more of a horror kind of film.
Yes.
So them in a horror kind of setting is interesting as well. I feel like Maisie's a better actor.
Oh, much
In
better.
general.
She's actually an actress, and I think Sophie Turner was the single worst thing about X-Men. The
Yeah.
last X-Men. She's
Of course,
the
that was
fact
not-
that she's going to be the Phoenix makes me very upset.
Well, of course, all around, it wasn't a great film. Like, it wasn't really well written.
No, but I just
Plot
feel
was
like her
terrible.
acting level is.
It's still a
His-
toss-up between her being the worst Stark and Bran. So,
So this
he's the
movie.
three-eyed Raven now.
So just kind of like going off of like what the trailer looks like, they're a bunch of mutants. Looks like they're in like a hospital or some sort of like facility. I think asylum. And it's this narration by this actress named Alice Braga who plays.
When is this set, by the way?
Great question. It kind of looks. You can't really tell.
You also can't really tell in the X-Men universe to begin with.
That's true. It looks. I would say modern-ish times.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't look like 1950s or anything like that. This looked 90s. 10s.
Did you see the? It looked like they were injecting something into the IVs. I'm wondering if they're doing like a Experiment X kind of thing.
Yeah.
Pushing out some new abilities.
Yeah, it kind of seemed that way. So like Alice Braga plays Dr. Cecilia Reyes, and Alice Braga has done a couple of other films. She was in Elysium, I Am Legend.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
She does a couple things. Here, if I showed you a picture.
One of the four people.
One of the two, yeah.
Seen her before?
Yes,
okay.
yeah. She was that. Yeah, she did that. It was like called Down South or Queen of the South. I don't know. It was something about her taking on a drug cartel or something like that. It looked really interesting. Oh, I got a question for you guys.
Sir. Yeah.
At least I'll give some background for me.
Okay.
I've had a very love-hate relationship with X-Men.
Okay.
And I don't think I started enjoying the movies until... Ooh, boy. Probably one of the Wolverine movies. I think.
Probably. Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
You know, like one or two?
Not as... I
They just didn't feel realized.
Yeah.
When I was young, I was like, man, this shit is the best.
Yeah.
And then going back, then it's like...
Yes. But yes, I'll say the X-Men or X-Men... Or Wolverine Origins, right? That was the first one?
Was that the one
That's
where he
the
was
first
like in
Wolverine.
Japan?
No, Wolverine Origins is the one
with
where
the shitty Deadpool. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
That one. I watched that recently. Yikes.
It's fucking awful.
Wow.
But that was the first time I was like, are they trying to do something? This is... Let's see how this works out.
Because there's so many references.
And then they started doing Days of Future Past and all those other movies. And then I started getting more into the X-Men franchise. Because the first three movies, to me, I just don't know.
I understand. Watching those as, like, I don't know, third, fourth grader.
Yes.
Like,
awesome.
This is
fun stuff.
Look at that. And then she's going to be Phoenix, and that's, oh my god, and Logan's got to kill her. Oh my god. And just, all this stuff, and it was crazy. But yeah, so like the Origins film of Wolverine, it's him and Liev Schreiber and like their brothers, and then
I thought that part was cool. I feel like they should have just focused on that first montage for the whole movie.
Oh, I kind of
that was super cool. And then as soon as that ends, you're in trouble.
It's awful. Yeah.
Run.
So I was watching that the other day, and like they're doing that opening credit sequence where they're like flashing, like, look, they were in World War I and World War II and Vietnam because they live forever. So they're flashing like the writing, directing credits. That shit was co-written by David fucking Benioff.
Huh.
Game of Thrones.
Okay.
And I was like, this is real bad. This is troubling. This is troublingly bad.
And another thing that's always made me feel weird about the X-Men series and how people treat it is like it's its own deal. Like the mutants just don't really associate with the rest of the Marvel Universe aside of a couple. What do you mean they don't have a choice?
It's not owned by Marvel. Marvel sold the movie.
Right. Oh, yeah. I know that, but like
they
that's
don't really
always
in the comics either.
But some do. Some like only the good ones get to go over and be an Avenger.
Like,
and
it never makes sense to me.
The X-Men, even in the comics, like there's never like Cyclops is never just an adventure. Wolverine has a time in the Avengers. But not really that much. The X-Men's always kind of their own thing. And everyone's always like, oh, why don't the X-Men come out? And apparently they just don't care about
But, like,
anyone else.
no one gives a shit that Spider-Man's technically a mutant. You know?
Yeah.
Like, if... There's so many different, like... They classify mutants as mutants, but mutants just have superpowers. But then every other, like, Marvel superhero has superpowers, and no one gives a shit about that. So it's like they're a second-class citizen, but they're still in the same universe, and all those characters are good. I've never quite understood how the racism of mutants work in the Marvel universe in the grand scheme of like why isn't everyone getting pissed off at Captain America?
Right.
Yeah. Like it makes zero sense. Like if everyone's a mutant, but not like the Avengers, not like the other Marvel properties. They're not mutants.
The thing that I always liked about Deadpool comics was the fact that like they always combined like the X-Men and like Avengers universe in a way that I felt like was really like palatable. Like, I don't know, like he was always like the God, I don't know the word for it. He was always like, he would always like bring the two groups together and then like shit on both of them like equally or whatever. And it's like, I'll fuck with the X-Men, but I don't really care about them. And then like he'd always have like this rivalry with like Spider-Man. So I don't know. I always felt like that was kind of cool, like that interplay between like the two groups and like using him as like a go-between. I don't know. But yeah, so
You guys remember Spider-Man's rivalry with the Human Torch?
Yes.
They would always just fucking race.
Yeah.
I never quite understood that
I
one.
never quite understood. I never got it. Back to the New Mutants real quick, though. I think that Fox has, like, learned... It's Fox that owns X-Men, right? I feel like they've learned their lesson with the X-Men. Sort of. With some of their properties. Like, they had Deadpool, major success. They're like, oh, this doesn't have to be kid-friendly. We can make money off of this. We can do things that are not what Marvel/Disney is doing and still profit off of this. And then you had like Logan come around, which is my favorite superhero movie of all time. I think I'll get to that later maybe. But like, so you have that, and to me like that's like a masterpiece, and everyone deserves Oscars. Just give them like. Give them all your money.
It's like an Oprah Winfrey show.
They
get an Oscar.
They all deserve Oscars for everything. Writing, directing, cinematography, acting, everything. In that movie. And so I feel like they're like, well, let's just keep experimenting. Let's just see what we can do with this. And I think that the superhero like horror genre, I guess, is now a thing. If this becomes successful. I feel like that's just like an area, a genre that has not been touched/created.
Well, and I think we're going to get a slew of those movies because Spawn's coming.
Okay.
And they're remaking.
Yeah, and what he's trying to do with the movie, I don't remember the director's name, but what he's trying to do is make it so that Spawn's going to be this like boogeyman kind of deal, where he's not going to get a lot of screen time, but he's like there, and he's like fucking with people, and like trying to like. It was a weird way in how he described it, and like it's not going to be something you see all the time. And you're just like, oh yeah, Spawn's going to go do this. It's like you're trying to figure out what Spawn's intentions are, and he's more of a mysterious like dark entity that kind of stays in the dark rather than like. I don't know, another gritty like Deadpool just running out there and just fucking shit up. But also, Deadpool doesn't have anything to do with the demon underworld, so that'll be interesting. But he's also, I don't know. But I thought it was interesting how they're going to try and like make it into more of a horror type film, where there's a ghost in the house, but you just don't see him until like that one jump scare, and then there's Spawn and that fat clown or whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Do we like the idea of like? I don't know. Is there any other like superhero franchise, whatever, that could be made into like a horror film? Do you think that like this is gonna work with the X-Men, or like these? Since it's called New Mutants, like do you think that'll work with like that universe?
I'd love to see who's the Flaming Skull? Ghost Rider. I think that could be done a little better.
Yeah, the bar has been set so low.
Low, I think you could probably try and reboot, and that's what they're doing with Spawn.
Yeah.
Though the Spawn movie wasn't awful. It was...
I don't think I've ever seen it.
I think it's really good.
It's in 1997?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not bad. It's pretty good. But it's just, I don't know.
No one?
Nondescript actors. Except for the clown, I think is a pretty big name.
Okay. I'm just trying... Yeah, I think Ghost Rider, that would be interesting, because, like, I remember... God, what did they make? 2? 3? 3 Ghost Rider films?
I forgot about the second one, and I didn't even hear about a third, so...
Oh, boy.
2, right?
Okay.
I think it's 2.
Yeah, I don't know, it just feels like...
They were very split up, weren't they?
Like, what do you mean?
Wasn't it like a couple years after the first one?
Yeah, they waited like 5 years and then tried to go darker with the second one.
And no one gave a shit.
Yeah.
So John Leguizamo was the clown.
Oh,
Martin
Leguizamo.
Sheen,
Yeah.
was Jason Wynn.
Okay.
Most of the main people don't matter, but they had Martin Sheen. So
Okay. Well.
Michael Papajohn.
Yeah.
Just his name's pretty cool.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Is that the...
Michael J. White was Spawn.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
there he
did this movie that I like called Black Dynamite. Have you ever seen that?
Nope.
It's like a spoof off of like blaxploitation films, and like it's just super funny.
Like Boo 2 coming out?
I mean,
Tyler Perry.
I
He's got Boo 2.
not quite. It's like more like
Yeah.
based in like he's
Yeah.
like solving crimes and shit. Yeah. One night we'll do a movie night. We'll need to watch that because it's something else.
The only thing I've seen him in since this was The Dark Knight. He was Gamble. That was I recognized him right away, and I don't remember him in anything else.
Gamble.
He's one of the gangster. He's the one who really hates the Joker. That wants to kill the Joker the whole time.
Gotcha. Okay. Yes. All right.
Yeah.
It's like, dang, who is this?
Wow.
He played Tyson and Mike. He played Mike Tyson in the TV movie Tyson.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Yeah. He's like an actual.
Mike Tyson has so many TV things. He's had his own show. He's had his own movies.
Have you seen Mike Tyson Mysteries?
Is that the animated?
Yeah.
Yes. What the fuck is
that? That show was weird, and he's like the actual voice of.
Going for it.
It's. And like when they do like the like end credit sequence, it's just like him like in a little like bubble next to the credits, just like saying stuff.
It's like Terry Crews being super into gaming. It's just not what you expect.
Yeah, and like and he's actually really funny. Like terrible person, like I don't know, kind of like overall misogynist. But then like he does this movie or this show, and it's like pretty. This is pretty funny.
You guys want to know who's in the New Mutants? Who the mutants are?
Yeah, let's talk about.
So there's Magic.
Okay.
Who creates teleportation fists. She's Colossus's brother.
Oh.
Maisie Williams is playing Wolfsbane.
Okay.
She turns into a wolf, but she had a religious upbringing, so she struggles with that.
Okay.
These are all straight from L.A. Times.
Okay, cool.
Charlie Heston plays Cannonball.
Okay.
He has the ability of flight. Of course, Cannonball doesn't just fly. He has the ability to create impenetrable force field around himself. Roberto de Costa, aka Sunspot, who has the ability to absorb and manipulate solar energy.
Huh.
Mirage has psionic powers. And that's all they have listed so far. Josh Boone's the director.
Mirage sounds really familiar.
Yeah. I've heard of a couple of these, but some of them wow.
I like it when they go with the obscure ones, so they don't have to live up to everyone's expectations.
Yeah.
Makes you care more about
I wonder if it'll be
characters.
like kind of well, I mean not really, but like Guardians of the Galaxy like esque. Like it won't be probably as like hilarious as the trailer because the trailer
it's gonna be super upsetting.
It just looks really dark, but it seems like it's. I think they chose these mutants as I don't know because like the entire trailer, like if you watch it, there's like no sun, like it's just very like dreary. It's all takes place inside of this asylum, hospital, what have you. So I think that's kind of cool that they have Sunspot. Yeah, is that what we said? Sunspot. Yeah. Have him in there because it's like he's powerless essentially because there's no like. So I wonder just how like all these like powers are gonna play in. And
I bet there's gonna be like another Striker character kind of in this.
Oh,
movie.
Absolutely, some sort of dark figure.
Yeah, who's like running the asylum or doing stuff like that.
God, who's
This is part of a trilogy. He's conceived the full trilogy of horror-based mutant movies. Yeah.
Huh.
Really?
Yeah.
So, is it going to be like these same characters over and over again, or is it going to be 3 different?
He hasn't said anything about the next
Okay.
two. He just says he has the story arcs made already before he even shot this one.
Huh.
Interesting.
That's pretty cool. And so now these tie into, I guess, whatever the current new, like Days of Future Past timeline.
It doesn't say. I know Days of Future Past, that whole thing was supposed to be self-contained. Like, so it's the original trilogy, the new ones they made, and then they're thinking about making a 90s one that's contained outside of it. That would be the Dark Phoenix story.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be a part of the last trilogy. So really, they just don't care.
Yeah,
which is
That
about
is the gist of it.
still how they always approach
They have to
movies.
release a movie every 3 or like 5 years or something to keep the movie rights. So that's how
Mhm.
often you're gonna see it.
I remember
when. Yeah, sorry, go for it.
Okay, I was just saying. I remember watching Days of Future Past with your brother. We went to the actual movies and saw it, and then afterwards we were all like, "So none of the other films matter. It just completely wiped the slate clean."
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so I guess
It's like Logan was in a. He said it far enough in the future that it could technically be in the universe, but it wasn't.
mhm.
Like we all know that. And then like the second Wolverine, the Wolverine movie, kind of screwed everything up
yes.
there too.
Oh my
Compared
God.
to was it Days of Future Past where they shoot Wolverine into the ocean and that's when Stryker first picks him up.
Yeah, but then it's not actually Stryker. It's
It's Mystique, but somehow he actually got picked up by Stryker because in the next movie he's in Stryker's facility.
Didn't Mystique work for Stryker at some point?
I think that could be because she's.
I thought she worked for him.
Maybe
Not in that movie timeline though, right? Because that's Jennifer Lawrence's
God,
one
you're right.
where
Yeah.
she was going after
Fucking
Magneto.
Christ.
Yeah, so
She worked for Stryker in
So
the
none of that stuff
second
happened.
movie. Yeah,
and maybe Mystique.
But then,
was-
but if she worked for him in the second movie,
the original second movie, which was present day, and that movie was in the 1970s.
yes.
Because in the present day, he made the mind control serum from his son.
This is why I hate the X-Men.
yeah, it's really tough to keep the.
Who comes back and...
Oh my god!
At least with Marvel and DC, we're
we know where the timeline.
starting fresh.
Well, if you take outside of the TV shows
Yeah.
out of DC,
Oh, I don't count them.
No.
you know that's their one thing that I feel like they do really well.
Really?
For the
Oh,
most part,
the
they do
Arrowverse?
TV
yeah.
shows are much better than Marvel
I
TV
think,
shows. I think.
yes. I think they are
Overall.
too, but I think... Okay, so what I like about Marvel is that they deal with, like, real issues. And they talk about... The characters are more interesting.
Yeah.
And they deal with real-life problems. And they deal with, like... they just deal with real-life problems that I think is more relatable to the characters. For the Arrowverse, it's just badass action sequences after another. And then a cool story that's really interesting, but like really you don't give a fuck about the Arrow because he's just this beefcake who that's about it.
Right. Yeah.
But you
shoots arrows.
care about what happened to him, not necessarily the person himself.
Okay.
Because I think that Deathstroke's whole origin story and all that stuff that happened to him in the Arrowverse at least is more interesting.
Yeah.
But then the Flash comes in and just fucking takes everything. Because I think the Flash is pretty, like to me, pinnacle of TV superheroes.
I think honestly Daredevil's still my favorite
Okay.
TV superhero show, but I think overall DC with Supergirl, Flash, and Arrow.
I've not
combined.
seen Supergirl.
Never mind.
I only watch whenever my little brother's over. That's what he watches, so I just catch little bits.
Okay.
It all seems better to me than like Agents of Shield and that kind. I
Yeah.
don't really like Agents of Shield.
I couldn't get into
I didn't
Jessica
like
Jones.
Iron Fist.
I hate
Jessica
Jessica.
Jones.
Oh,
I thought
Iron
it was,
Fist
I
was
like
so
Jessica
bad.
Jones.
Iron.
But I really like David Tennant, so
I
I was
liked-
willing to hold
I
out
love
for
David
him.
Tennant.
I like Jessica Jones.
Defenders
like
was
the-
garbage.
Like middle to back half because I watched the beginning. I was like, I'm not gonna do this, and then my parents were watching like the few other episodes. I was like, this is actually fucking.
The first couple episodes were just like, when is something going?
Okay.
Luke
Okay.
Cage
Damn it.
Yeah.
was eh.
Yeah.
I thought, eh.
Yeah,
I just
it
feel
was
like
mixed.
overall superhero TV is not that great
Yeah.
because you can't have the right villains in there because you don't have the budget for it.
But that's what I think everyone likes more about DC is because you can't have those interesting films.
because they got. I don't want to say
Somewhat,
lucky.
somewhat,
They picked right
somewhat,
because
yeah.
they brought in Slade or Deathstroke versus the Arrow. Neither one of which
Mhm.
goes too out of budget. I feel like.
yeah.
But then they got weird with the whole multiple Deathstrokes. In like the third season or second season.
Oh,
he,
that
like,
was
he
just
brainwashes
that
people
was
or something.
no,
I
it
don't
was
know.
the Mirakuru virus, which was like gives people makes them in superhumans.
That's what I stopped
and then they
watching.
just put
I
that
drew
was
the line, I couldn't
when
do it.
when they were like, oh, the whole fucking city's blowing up.
Everyone's
and there's
Deathstroke.
Deathstrokes everywhere, but not this one.
Yeah.
That was like just chaos happening. The whole point was like the Mirakuru thing, but
Yeah.
now once they got past that, I thought it was a little more interesting.
Yeah.
But
But so X-Men's real messed up. I think is where we started that part of this from.
Kind of. And I was going to interject one more thing in there. The only Marvel TV show that I liked that got fucking canceled was Agent fucking Carter.
Really?
Oh yeah, the old
Peggy
the old,
fucking Carter. That was a fucking great show. They canceled it after 2 seasons and left it on a cliffhanger thing. And I'm like, it's not good for podcasts, but I'm holding my hands up in the air like, what? Like, say what?
It's a typical John.
Typical, insert typical John stuff here. But yeah, I was very upset because like she was just kind of a badass and like didn't take shit from anyone and like got things done and it was cool and just interesting. And, like you had like she was like Tony Stark's father or whatever was in there or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And she'd be like, fuck you, Howard, or just just shit like that. And like then you had like actual Jarvis before he was like a computer.
Huh.
And he was just like, I'm hanging around. I guess I'll help you out, Peggy Carter, because things, because I don't have anything else to do. It was just, man, I like that show so much.
You said that's the only Marvel show.
That's the only one I really enjoyed.
You didn't like Daredevil?
I never watched it.
You
See,
should. I think that's the only one that's worth watching.
I don't know what it is about Marvel movies, but I gave Daredevil 4 episodes. And after that, I was just like, I really don't feel like a lot has happened besides some cool law stuff.
Well, they were universe building for the whole
Yeah.
Defenders. He was laying the groundwork for
Yes,
all.
and
I
so
just think the fighting and the actual guy who plays Daredevil, the guy who plays his friend, is terrible.
I think the dude that
what's his
plays
friend?
Daredevil is a lot better than than Ben Affleck.
I just felt like that whole. Can we just not talk about the Ben Affleck Daredevil?
Why
movie?
not? It's a perfect film.
It was so. The fact that I had to look. Okay, it was kind of interesting.
It's a perfect
little
film.
like when they're going through like the process of like
It's a
him
perfect
getting ready for the whole movie,
film.
and then Elektra showed up.
Oh yeah,
And
that was my favorite
They
part.
made Elektra.
Oh,
They didn't
yeah.
stop there. No, they made Elektra. Elektra's
It
the
is a
one
perfect
Oh my
where they have the
universe.
tattoo guy, right? Whose
The
monsters
bullseye?
come out of his.
Or-
No.
no.
In Elektra, there's a guy, and his power was he had tattoos. And those tattoos came out of his body, and he controlled them.
That is
I only
true.
remember.
Birds and like I think there was a dragon.
Boy, I
That
saw,
is true.
I saw a lecture when I was
That is a
really.
unique power, and this is a perfect universe. Nothing is the matter
And she was brought back from the
with
dead.
those films.
But I love Colin Farrell, so I felt like Daredevil was.
Yeah,
Bullseye
Colin
was the
Farrell
best
is
part.
so good. He, oh
The
my
peanut,
god,
the peanut that he
yeah.
kills the old woman with.
Oh
and just
my
casually
God.
murders every actor.
Everything, like every line, every quip he
My
said.
fucking favorite part of that is when Colin Farrell's in it. Like I said, it's a perfect movie. So he's like when he like flips things at people and he's like. He puts his finger like on his bullseye on his head. I gotcha, and he's just like
I like
screaming.
the unveiling of it when you think it's going to be like a whole thing, but then he takes off
It's
his
just
hat.
like
It's
a
literally
little-
a scar.
Just a circle.
Just a scar on his
and
head.
everyone's like, "What?"
And I was like, I bet you should.
And then he finally missed, and you felt bad for the guy because that's like probably his only thing he's got going for him.
He'll remember that miss forever.
Like, doesn't he die? Does he not die?
He still probably remembered it forever.
For the rest of his life.
For,
yeah.
an hour or whatever.
We'll have to watch that again, guys.
Yeah, because I haven't
And
seen
Elektra
Elektra.
back to back,
I haven't
yeah.
seen Elektra since I was like 16, and the only scene I actually remember from that
Was that
is
Jennifer Gardner?
It was
yeah.
Jennifer.
Oh,
Garner.
that's why I think
I remember
Also,
I love Jennifer
the
Garner.
house scene, which I was like, this is a lot like Laura Croft. You remember that when the house gets attacked,
Don't think about it.
and then
Don't think about it.
and then the maze. The maze. I don't know. That was
I think
just.
what you meant to say is, let's be honest, she can't stand on her own. Jennifer Gardner kind of inspired her, I think, for that whole performance.
Good Lord.
Yes.
I mean, she did a pretty good job at keeping Wanted up in the air, but
James McAvoy. My favorite James McAvoy movie, as Creed Brad would say.
They can curve the bullets.
that's the most
Round
interesting
stuff.
thing.
Whoop.
And
Can you?
they can make shirts with all that silk. The weaving.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Nice shirt, too.
Yeah, that's.
So yes, I think anything else on the New Mutants?
Good.
All right, moving on to one more trailer. That this is John's pick of the week. It already has a real bad score on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's called
It
Suburbicon.
looks good.
It looks really interesting. This shit fest apparently stars Matt Damon.
Matt Damon is
Why are you
just trying
staring at me
to.
while you
I
say all
don't know.
this?
I don't know because I need someone to talk to, and I feel
Sorry, I'm just watching the
No, you're
audio.
fine. You can do it. It's fine. Yeah. So this looks not great. No, I like it. Actually,
What's its Rotten Tomatoes?
It looks great. It's
Should we play? Should we play?
Let's play the game. Let's spin the wheel. I don't know.
Soren, I didn't get to play last.
That's fine.
So
I
Soren,
will be the moderator.
He said not great. So
Well, I'm pretty.
you know,
He's been having a rough time. So with the last few movies he's been making, so I'm going to assume that people are going to assume that it's not going to go well. So I'm going for 40.
Okay.
I'm going for
Are
40.
we close without going over?
Close.
Closest without going over?
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
41.
Fuck off. God.
Well,
Okay.
Just real quick though, what Matt Damon movies didn't go well?
Great Wall. And then there was.
The last one I remember that actually existed was The Martian. The Great Wall is a good point.
The
The
Martian was.
The Martian was
there
right
was,
before that, right?
There was.
That's the only movie I could think of. I'm like, wow, Soren has a bold opinion on The Martian because I think people like that.
No, The Martian was pretty good, but I thought he did a couple other action flicks that just weren't well received. He did come back and try and do a Bourne movie, didn't he?
it was pretty badass.
Yeah.
It was
I
really
love
cool.
Bourne movies.
I did not.
It's
I
just
didn't-
a solid action movie. Like I don't think they
I
get
thought
high
that
ratings,
one
but
did
it was.
not. Yeah, I thought
sorry.
that one did not get as much high ratings. As
I don't think it did, but
Okay.
It was kind of
I
a
just was
separate
like,
story,
I
though.
did not think.
I'm kind of a Bourne.
Yeah.
I love Bourne too.
What was
But
the
I'm
score
saying,
then?
I was saying
Oh.
that movie I thought did not get a lot of good reaction. I
It
thought
probably didn't. You're right.
Bourne's done. We already did the extra one with what's his name, Gerard Butler. Was it?
No.
no.
It was
Who was it?
Hawkeye. Jeremy Renner. That's
Yes,
his
Jeremy Renner.
That one was good. I like that.
Yeah, that one was
It kind of. I
interesting
thought it was
because it
a good
expanded
story,
it more.
Yeah.
Yeah, the story was really good.
Okay, boys.
Score.
But 40, he's 41.
Yeah, and you're 40.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Fuck yeah.
no, you didn't. You didn't win. Malcolm guessed exactly correct.
It's 41. Oh my god.
One
Hey,
up.
that's twice.
Should we go?
That's twice.
Should we go best two out of three?
I have
Well,
a-
guess what the.
I've never won a tomato yet.
I have a whole slew of movies that we could do. I'm on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
I just saw
let's
the.
let's
I
keep
love-
them with the.
I love this
keep
segment.
them-
I
Okay.
love
This is our shtick, right?
This is,
now.
I
a
love
good
this
movie.
segment.
Okay.
Okay, I have another one for you. Have you seen the trailer for The Foreigner with Jackie Chan?
I've
Yes.
seen The Foreigner.
Oh,
I went and saw it.
Oh,
I've
okay.
seen the trailer.
So
It
what?
was-
Okay, what is that tomato meter?
I'm gonna say that the fans probably rated it higher because they always do on these kind of movies. But
okay.
I'm gonna say tomato meter 60.
I'm gonna go with 55.
You calculate the distance
Ooh,
between
'cause
the
it's
two.
like 59, 58.
Soren gets it.
Fuck yes, my first win.
It's rotten at 57%.
Oh, I went over.
Oof.
Lame sauce.
Oof.
I thought it was good. It's fun. The first
Okay.
like 20 minutes were like, it kind of dragged a little, but
I'm
they
kind of a
said
big
it was
Jackie Chan
fun.
person.
But it was good to see Jackie Chan doing it.
Yes.
And so this is kind of an aside. It was weird to see this kind of movie. So I feel like in a lot of action movies where they're like big hand-to-hand martial artists, you're like, okay, but wouldn't that guy have been shot by the 12 automatic weapons surrounding
Shut
him?
up.
This one's in Britain and Ireland. So like you don't see any automatic weapons till they're out on like a farm because if they find you with an automatic weapon, it's just illegal. There.
Yep.
So until then, you see a couple shotguns, mainly shotguns and pistols.
So it's a lot more fun.
4 auto, yeah. Like it makes sense why he's fighting that way because the bad guys don't show up with pistols and then him disarm them all. No, they show up and they can't have guns. So
He like
it's
just assembles the gun. They're like, ah! Like they just can't do anything.
But it's Jackie Chan having. It's a fun Jackie Chan movie again. It's very. There's some funny moments. I don't think we're supposed to be funny. Just some of his sayings that he uses. There's something like he goes, the IRA and Northern Ireland government are two sides of the same snake. And then it's Pierce Brosnan's doing his normal James Bondy thing.
Yeah.
And he says something sassy back and goes, "But you're still grabbing a snake." And like just the way he says it, everyone in the theater started laughing.
It's funny
Like,
as hell.
this is weird. I don't know what's happening.
When they try to like be serious.
But it's like
it
James
comes off
Bond,
as-
old James Bond versus Jackie Chan.
Okay.
Jackie
All
Chan's technically
Well,
old too, though. So
if you're looking for a fun Jackie Chan movie with a little bit more comedy, Rush Hour 4 is
yes,
the
as long
rumor.
as Chris Tucker.
As long as
Sorry.
Jackie was like, as long as Chris Tucker's ready to go. And I
But
was like,
Chris
balls.
Tucker said like 6 months ago that he'd be down to do
Yeah,
it. So.
so I'm pretty
I-
sure
Oh,
this
yeah.
is going to work out. I'm going to be super pumped because they're gonna come right back into it. And Rush Hour 4 is going to be a good movie. I can
3
already
was a
feel it.
letdown. I feel like
Was that the Paris one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
1
Man,
and 2
I
are
don't care.
really
I'll
good.
still watch them.
The third one,
I know. Yes.
Still watch
I
them.
took a friend to it, and he goes, "This movie's not about traffic, right?" Like, literally said this to me. I'm like, no, of course not. The start of 3 is Chris Tucker directing a traffic jam on the freeway.
Yep.
And it's like the first 5 minutes. I'm like, I'm so sorry, Cameron. I lied
so
to you.
funny.
It's about traffic.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Things happen.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with that one. They haven't talked anything about their dads yet, and both of them bonded on that for the first one. So it might be like a...
They could have kids themselves at this point, too.
To avenge the deaths of
Jackie's
the father.
obviously in his 50s. Like, it's very obvious when you see him.
He can't squeeze his way through a banker's, like, that little
That was the cool...
box.
The bloopers from Rush Hour 2 where he kept getting stuck. Oh, they were so funny. I distinctly remember everything about Rush Hour 2.
I know.
I use YouTube for 3 things. 1, to watch Funhouse. 2, to watch Vine compilations.
Yep.
Because I miss out on that phenomenon. And the third is to watch exclusively Rush Hour bloopers. That's it. That's all I use YouTube for. Sometimes I will go on binges and I gotta find those dank Rush Hour.
Gefilte fish. Gefilte fish.
He's still doing all his own stunts though, and I was watching the director talk about it, and basically the director's like, so we can't choreograph anything for him, we're not good enough. So I tell him, like, you started in the attic and I want you down here.
He just does
get there. And the scene they're talking about, he jumps out the roof of a building, gets kicked in the chest off the building. This is no CGI, this is all him.
Oh yeah.
Grabs a metal pole and slides down onto his face on the ground.
Wow.
Didn't he get hurt making this film?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I thought, I was going to say,
Yes.
I was like,
Very
I'm pretty
much
sure
so.
he did get hurt during the making of this film. Jackie Chan's were hurt.
I know 50-year-olds who can barely walk, and they showed he did a BuzzFeed about his workout.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing like single fingertip push-ups and balancing on his head and stuff that I don't know anyone who can actually do it.
There's this YouTube channel that I follow, and I wish I could remember what it is called. However,
Podspill.
It's not. Well, plug
It's
that.
not.
It's
Subscribe.
Podspill. It's real good. No, ours is fine, but also this is one that's perhaps better. It talks about films and talks about like different like aspects of like film and like cinematography and acting, whatever. It talks about Jackie Chan like exclusively as kind of like a film legend and how he choreographs and like if he like directs a film or whatever and what he like wants in it in terms of like action sequences. And he like the guy that's doing the voiceover for this video is talking about how like in American movies you never actually see like the punch.
Yeah.
Like they always like cut like on the punch or whatever. Whereas like in Jackie Chan movies, they show the fucking punch.
Yeah.
They show like every like the full connection and just how he is. He's so meticulous about like his fight scenes. And
Yeah, they're saying he has he doesn't cut anyone any slack. Like if you're gonna do the fight scene, you'll do. And he's talking about how he teaches them, and they'll go through like kind of how you would learn, I guess, anything. But it'll be like, okay, so you're gonna do this punch. They'll do the punch like 10 times, and then he'll throw in the second move, and they'll do that 10 times, and so you're just kind of building the whole fight. But like by the end, like it's just muscle memory going through it all. And when you watch, you can tell it's an actual fight. Like you can it comes across. And he said something about that's why he took a break from making American films and he went back to mainly overseas films, is because he had issues with the way that movies were going with CGI and all that.
Yeah.
And you can see that in this. I can't think of any CGI. It was all practical effects, I think.
Yeah.
What I love about Jackie Chan the most, actually, and what I think is a pure form of what he sees in his mind is his animated show. That was way back on the way back in the day.
God.
Because those fight scenes were fucking intense.
Dude.
Because he's
That show
in
was
charge of
so
those. It was so
badass.
badass. And if you didn't watch that show, you should probably go on YouTube for that fourth thing you do, and watch some of those action sequences. Because especially when you add in the talisman,
you're right.
The talisman.
Talismans, dude.
And that would give him extra powers.
Extra
that makes
powers.
those fight scenes what I think he thinks they are.
Uncle? Yeah.
I don't know what they are,
Uncle!
but or something like that.
Damn,
I just
dude.
thought that was one thing that when I saw that and then I started watching Jackie, like I saw that first as a kid. That was how I was introduced to Jackie Chan, and then I started watching his movies and I started seeing it and I thought, and then I heard he did his all stunts and all this stuff, and I just kind of like realized like I really do think that animation is literally what he just sees in his head, and we just don't get that because there's physical limitations to what you can actually do in real life. So
it was cool to like see both sides. I think what he can actually do and what he wishes he could do.
Yes.
We now need our tiebreaker though to finish up this.
Oh, let me pick a
Closest without going over. And here we go.
Boy, I don't know which
Go,
one
good
I
point.
should.
We still got the 9 minutes. I think we should do a topic that wraps everything up.
Okay, we could
I
end.
would like to do loot crates. I mean, we don't have to.
Can we do that next?
I guess, yeah. There's just like 3 big stories about it back to
Yeah,
back.
because I think that'd be good for the next one. If we finish trailers, and movies, I feel like we
Yeah.
can just talk about.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well,
let me pick
For
a
an hour, good for us.
Let me pick a good one. Maybe.
Let's end on a tomato meter and
I'm going to do some certified fresh ones.
Yeah, get us something you've above 50%.
Ooh.
Okay.
That'll be our range, 50 to 100, I guess. We
Here-
can talk about Hunted.
Here's some movies that came out.
About what?
They're
Hunted, the video game.
Oh.
Yeah,
they may not be in theaters anymore, but should we take a guess?
yeah, hit us.
Actually, okay, this movie just came out on pay-per-view, and you have not, and probably DVD and Blu-ray.
Spider-Man.
No.
Damn.
This movie is called Baby Driver, and it's Kevin Spacey and Ansel Elgort.
Oh, yeah.
and
I need to
Jamie
see it so
Foxx,
bad.
I
John
really
Hamm,
do.
And Flea.
So this it's fresh, right? It's above 50?
That's true.
Okay. So I'll let you go first this time.
85.
Okay.
No.
Wait.
Okay, do we want to just do closest or closest without going over? Let's
Let's just
decide.
do closest.
Closest?
Closest. I'm actually gonna go with 70. 70.
You think so? All right.
Actually, I switched it.
Okay. All
I'm going to
right.
go 80.
Well, Malcolm is closest.
Okay.
And it's a fucking 93.
Holy
Wow.
crap.
Really?
I told Abby when I saw the trailer that I really wanted to see it, but it was one of those movies I wasn't like driven to see because I never saw anything about it again.
I think people
There's
were.
another one coming out. Oh, what was it?
I thought people were gonna have issues with the main character being too young with a cast that is a little more older.
That's fair.
I think that
I've
because
seen it
he's not
twice.
an actor who has a lot of chops yet, is he?
No.
So
But
I thought that would be an
Yes.
issue because I haven't seen it yet. So
Okay.
me going in, I'm thinking he's not going to be strong. I think his character's interesting.
Yeah.
But I also think that Jamie Foxx is in there to kind of help move it.
Yes.
Because he does a really good job at playing those characters who are instrumental in pushing the character forward
Yes,
or
yes.
pushing the narrative forward.
Yes.
Which I don't know why Jamie Foxx is just good at that.
He's-
He just shows up in movies
Like,
sometimes.
I don't think he's ever
and
like
just
won an
pushes
Oscar
it.
or anything. Well, maybe.
He did
Ray?
for Ray. Yeah.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
I forget about that. Yes. What did you guys
Oh, I was
say?
just going to... No, this isn't about this movie, so we'll...
Okay,
come back to it.
real quick. I have seen this movie twice. Damn.
Makes sense.
I really like that. Okay, so initially I was like, I don't know. But then I watched it Friday? I watched it again Friday. And, yeah. I like
think
this a lot. And to your point where it's like you're not sure if Baby Driver, the main character, or Baby, can
has the
carry
chop
this
to do it.
movie.
Yeah.
It's unimportant. Because he doesn't have a ton of dialogue. And it's mostly
Yeah,
just...
because he does the music in the ears
Yeah,
and just
he
drives
just doesn't-
around
He
and
just
stuff.
pretty much just drives.
Hmm.
So it's like the movie The Driver with
just-
what's his face, where like the first
Ryan
15
Gosling.
minutes were Ryan Gosling
Yeah.
driving around, and then
Yeah.
I turned it off. I don't know what happens after the first.
the movie's
15 minutes of
that one's
Driver.
actually pretty good. But
Is
this
it?
one, I liked it. Like
But you can't ever beat Transporter.
No, The Rock and Jason Statham in a Fast and Furious spinoff. I want it. I'm excited.
Dude.
Who isn't excited about that?
Tyrese and the rest of the cast.
Oh well, they okay. Well, be
Literally
better.
everyone else.
Everyone in that group
Be
is
better
like,
is
fuck
my
them.
answer to that.
I agree.
Literally,
No, I agree.
What else do those actors do for the most part? Like, what other movies are they in?
Yep.
Vin Diesel just did a new Riddick.
And that's what I was like. I was
So
like,
there's that.
I was like, the only reason they're saying shit is because they're not getting paid anywhere else. They want to make their money as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So of course they're pissed. The next one's coming out in
Okay.
2020.
Okay, so the action
got
movie I
bills.
got excited about. It's like a weird like gang. Okay, so Gerard Butler plays a major crimes unit boss, and he's going up against. It's called How to Train Your Dragon 3 is coming out in 2019. I just found that out. While I was on the IMDb for Gerard Butler, I just found that out. So that's exciting. But it's called Den of Thieves. It's got 50 Cent as the leader of a crew of bank robbers.
So
Versus
video
Gerard
game.
Butler as
Who
the
is-
leader of a major crimes unit trying to catch them. and they're going head to head. It turns out Gerard Butler is dirty. So it's full out war in the streets.
It's like modern day Departed.
Yes, kind of.
I love
Not
Departed.
quite.
Yeah,
But yeah.
But so it's Gerard Butler's crew versus 50 Cent's crew, and I just think it's going to be a good, fun action shooter.
Not with 50 Cent.
I think so with 50 Cent.
Anyone else?
I think with 50
I
Cent.
don't
it's
like
like
50 Cent.
Michael Papa John is in it.
I love his music.
Just a fun fact.
I do not
as a
like
bank security
him as an
guard.
actor.
The only reason I know Papa John exists is because of Spawn, but he's a bank security guard in this.
Good old Spawn.
Who else does he have? I recognize some people. Sonia Balmores.
Okay.
I'm trying to see what these people are in. I recognize their faces, almost all of them. But yeah, it just looks like fun. A good, fun bank robber movie. Guy from Narcos and Breaking Bad. He was Gaff. Who's Gaff in Breaking Bad?
Mm-hmm.
You recognize this guy?
Let me see.
Maurice Compte is who we're talking about.
Oh.
The Zone.
Yeah, he's just one of like Gus's sidemen.
Yeah, probably.
And then I think
He's
there's a
like
new
one of the crew.
Idris. Elba movie coming out too, right?
No.
Has anyone seen
what?
anything about Idris? My boy,
Idris.
the future. The Dark Towers TV series has been announced and confirmed. I'm very excited. It's following the book exactly, and it's on
Okay.
BBC, so that will be good.
Oh, BBC.
Oh. Ooh. Ooh.
What?
British Broadcasting.
Ooh. BBC. All right.
Big
All
Black.
I'm pretty sure it's on BBC. Like 90% sure.
He's funny.
No one, yeah.
I got it.
And what's
I
best
turned-
was so quiet.
It took
so
me a
that is
second.
showing up.
That's really funny. No, that's God damn it. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I'm excited. So is it going to have anything to do with the film then?
So the film, I haven't seen the
I mean,
film yet.
obviously
I've
it's going
read
to, but, like-
3 of the books out of the 7. I'm gonna finish the series. I love the series. I just believe. I think the film idea was it was kind of sort of after the books. It was very disconnected.
Okay.
The books are very different than what I've seen of the movie. I've only seen parts. The books are very dark and
Yeah.
adult and cool.
And towery.
There is a tower. Yes. There's a.
Tall.
There's at one point in the first book, he murders an entire town because they're
Did he
possessed by
murder
a
them
demon.
with his heart?
Yes, he
Cool.
doesn't shoot with his finger. He shoots. I don't know how that saying goes. I've never read that saying in the book. To be fair,
Sometimes
also
we all just
to
need to
become
go
a watcher
through-
or whatever they call it, to become one of those guys, he killed the guy with a falcon. That was his
Cool.
training. It's so the world that they have built.
I don't
in
aim
here,
with my hand.
It's so rich
Sorry.
and beautiful.
Like a bird.
Yes,
Okay.
like so. In order to become
So he,
one
like-
of the watchers,
He
you
either
have
like
to
used
you
to
have
stab
fight
a
each
guy,
other.
or you like trained a bird.
They had a bird. It's just read the books.
Okay.
I do not kill with my gun. He who kills with his gun has forgotten the face of his father. I kill with my heart.
Did you look it up?
Which was a
Yeah,
bird.
Yeah. No, that's this is from the
Different
movie.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty badass.
but I love Idris. I
Yeah,
love
he's
Matthew
awesome.
McConaughey.
I kind of wish
I was
that,
disappointed that they managed to
Alright,
ruin
alright.
such a good book series.
I kind of wish that after so Daniel Craig is signed on to do James Bond, whatever.
Yeah.
Is his last
Oh,
film.
thank God! Yeah, it was the last one. Was his last one too? I think.
Well,
He
yeah.
said he hated the series and would never do it again.
what's-
He rather
What's-
slashes wrists.
Yeah.
Yeah. What he said.
What's the last James Bond movie you guys saw?
I've seen them all.
You have?
Yes.
I have seen them all.
I have not.
I like Spectre. People
I
didn't like
stopped.
I thought Spectre was
stopped
pretty good.
at
Was this one with Batista, though?
Skyfall.
I felt like they built him in the trailers as gonna be this big bag, and then I felt like what's his Hans?
Hans Gruber.
Yeah, I felt like
Wait, no,
no,
that's fucking.
that's a Nazi, right?
No, that's
It's someone.
Christensen, something.
Hans.
Hans Gruber is the guy from the Bruce Willis. The
Christoph Waltz.
Yeah, it's Christoph Waltz.
You remember artists?
It's Bruce
names of
Willis.
people.
It's Bruce Willis, and
Okay.
he's Die Hard. He's a
Oh.
villain in Die Hard.
God.
That's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah, but I felt like,
Christoph Waltz is.
and I felt like Christoph Waltz was kind of a letdown. For like, I felt like
Yeah.
that movie. I felt like that was a good movie. I don't think it was worthy of introducing Spectre in such a lackluster way.
Die Hard should get a sequel or another
one.
movie.
It's coming up.
They had one with Bruce Willis where he was with Justin Long. Did you not like that one?
When was that one?
It was like loosely based on Die Hard. I don't know if it was it was like in 2000 something. I'll look up Justin
I think they're
Long's
definitely coming up with another
IMDb.
one, actually.
Live Free or Die Hard, 2007.
And then there's A Good Day to
Oh,
Die
well,
Hard.
that's what I mean. Like, they should do another one. I feel like,
They should have 6 movies?
is it really?
Die Hard, Die Hard 2, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Live Free or Die Hard, A Good Day to Die Hard.
Wow. So
Now there's a section on Wikipedia.
I saw the first 2 and the 4th one, I guess.
I'd be okay with Bruce Willis not doing that anymore. I'd just be okay with him. Die Hard Year 1. It's been announced John McClane is rumored for Bruce Willis. Its popularity has dropped by 500. I don't know what that means, but it has. The movie's not even out yet.
Christ. This is from Wikipedia under the tab Future under Die Hard film series. Before production of A Good Day to Die Hard, Bruce Willis stated that he hoped to retire the character of John McClane after the 6th film, which there are only 5. Willis said, "At the moment, I can run and I can fight on screen, but there will become a time when I no longer want to do that. That's when I'll step away from Die Hard films." By February of 2013, 1 week after the release of the 5th
switched to
film...
red?
I love Red.
I love it too, but
Oh my
I'm
God.
just saying he's been doing those a lot more than just Die Hard.
In 2013, there's talks of a 6th film that were already beginning. In an interview promoting A Good Day to Die Hard, when asked if there would be a 6th film, Bruce Willis simply replies, "Yes." In October 2015, Fox entered into a deal with Wiseman, director of Live Free or Die Hard, and Lorenzo de Bonaventura to produce a potential Die Hard prequel set in 1979 with McClane as a young New York City police officer. The day it was reported, Wiseman tweeted an image with a graphic design revealing the film's title, Die Hard Year 1. Christ.
That's what I have pulled up, yeah.
By September 2017, the director revealed that casting had begun for the film.
What are they trying to make
Yeah,
him
so
like
it's going to
Batman?
be... Bruce Willis is going to be modern day recounting his stories.
Like, I'm not sure, like, I don't know if it's interesting, because it's like...
I like that though.
I don't think they get
that
everybody
sort
with
of
Good.
flashback kind of deal
Okay.
where it's like an older person looking back on things, just be like,
I just
this
hate
is how
them
it used to
trying
be.
to cast younger versions of other people. I don't like when
Yeah.
they do that.
My thing is like, especially if you know, like, that character is, like, old as shit now and has gone through all these other adventures, the stakes will never be high in prequel films.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know. It's
I
like,
don't know. I think it's good to hire acting coaches for those sort of situations.
It's 2 weeks left before it, too, yeah. You want to hold off.
you always want to hold off. Oh, boy.
Do we have anything else, ladies
Well,
and gentlemen?
I think we just went through a slew of movies that are coming out and
Yes.
some things that we were talking about that are
Yes.
pretty interesting. A lot of good stuff coming out. A lot of good cinema coming out to DVD.
I'm
and
happy.
all
I
that fun
feel like
stuff.
I haven't watched a lot of movies in a long time. Usually catch them on pay-per-view. I need to go out to the movie theater more.
Yeah,
But I
me
feel like
too.
there are going to be things that are going to be worth watching, and I'm excited.
Ooh,
Yes,
I
Soren.
will leave a link in the description of this video to hopefully, I don't know. There's a service that if you pay $10 a month, you pretty much get free movies.
Really?
Yes, and Regal, at least we are Regal, right? Regal
Yes.
is actually a part of that. So if you pay your subscription, $10, and you get to go to as many movies you want.
What?
My issue is, there's
It's either
not
as
very
many
many...
movies you want or 2 movies a month. One or two.
I'm getting really old, so I feel like I don't want to see a lot of the movies coming out anymore.
Same.
That's cool, though.
That's cool, but, like, The Foreigner was literally the first movie I've done.
Why
a movie
don't I
theater
know
for.
about that? I would go to the movies all the time.
Yeah, we thought the same thing, and then we didn't end up getting it, but I think we're going to. I think it's going to be
do that.
We'll have to start doing it, so on Podspill, we can,
actually go see
we
movies.
can review some movies.
Yeah.
Ooh, we should, yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Or we could just,
Ooh.
yeah.
Ooh.
Because
Yeah.
it's about
Yeah.
the same as a ticket, if you really do think
Absolutely.
about it.
Can I
is.
just
So,
say, real quick, my experience with The Foreigner, this is my fun story. of the day,
Goddamn.
was,
I'm going to move.
literally there were 6 people in the theater
Yeah.
who were telling Jackie Chan what to do during the movie.
Get him.
No, don't go there. Oh, bomb, 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 bomb.
Which theater
Yeah,
did you
it's,
go
well,
to?
Regal.
Which
Our Regal.
There's 2.
The one in Topeka. The only real Regal
Okay.
theater. The other one's a dollar movie.
Because
So
I have
the
only
corner
had those
behind it.
experiences at the dollar movie.
No, literally, like the whole theater was full on a Saturday afternoon. But the person in front of me just kept saying he brought his son, and when the bomb goes off, like Jackie Chan has glasses of shards in his face, and he's like, "Don't look, don't look." I'm like, "It's just gonna get worse, bud." He's about to murder some people too. So
That's what I hate about parents who are like, I'm going to take my kid to an
If
R-rated
you're gonna
movie.
do it, let them watch the movie.
God.
R-rated has changed since the last time you were a kid because it's gotten a little more sexual and violent. and awful.
That's very true.
But I think parents
Well, they
need
used
to
to let them
realize.
get away with a lot more and under R-rated.
That's
was
true.
the thing.
You always have these weird fucking stories of you having bad experiences at movie theaters.
I don't
You
have
have
a
a lot
lot
of
of
them.
theaters
Yeah.
at all.
I have great experiences.
I know. I don't really
Very
have those.
very
Everyone's
seldom
very
do I have.
quiet all the time. There's only been maybe a handful that I could probably
I
say
agree, yeah.
that was a pretty shit time. And one of them was technical difficulty, which is that's just something you can't deal with. That just happens.
That sounds to me twice.
I had a movie they
Um,
wouldn't let us refund even though the sound went out for 10
Oh
minutes.
my god!
And someone was in the front telling us what was happening in the movie. Luckily, I had already seen it. It was one of the Marvel movies I had seen multiple.
Was he really?
It was
That's pretty good.
Someone
it was
narrated
Guardians
the
of the
fucking
Galaxy.
movie?
Because Guardians of the Galaxy I went at midnight, but then I think I went once with you then, and then I had another friend who came back and down and wanted
Dude,
to see
I
it.
went for like 5 times.
And the third time I saw it,
To
it
see Guardians
goes
of the
out.
Galaxy, I went like 3 times to
And
see
this
it.
and this guy's just like, now he's saying this, and now Peter Quill's saying this back, and now Rocket's saying this to him, and it was like, and it was
That's
dead
pretty
on.
funny.
He knew it. He knew the movie. I'll give him that. But that's not what I paid for.
That's funny though.
It was
laugh
funny,
my
but
ass
I
off.
The
they
only,
wouldn't give us refunds.
the only times I've had technical difficulties was one when we saw Days of Future Past, Ian and I, and like I think probably other people. I think we got refunds, or they gave us like a free ticket thing. And another time I went to go see Baywatch, and then like the fucking we didn't get to see the end, and I was like, good. This is great. This has been an experience. But then they gave us like free tickets.
What were your thoughts on Baywatch?
I mean, it was kind of funny.
I thought it was funny. Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
It was about as funny as you did. It was exactly
Yeah.
what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
A few more
Boobs?
penis jokes than I thought.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought that's really what Baywatch.
Oh
was.
yeah, and then the guy got his dick stuck in the
in
bench.
a chair,
Yeah.
like right at the start of the movie, he falls and he gets it like stuck through the pallets of a chair. And CJ, the blonde who's replacing Pamela Anderson, like came up and it was a whole
Yeah,
thing.
Kelly Rohrbach.
Yeah. And then The Rock's just The Rock. It's good. When he's president, we'll look back and laugh at this.
Man, if he was president, I'd be okay.
And that's Podspill.
That's Podspill
That's my
number
Podspill.
Podspill number 5.
Boop, 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 boop.